Well, this is it, the final installment of our family train layout project. We've got our roads, grass, and structures all put in place, but the railroad's looking pretty flat at the moment, and so today I'm going to show you how to add some great scenery features, and we're going to start with this hill. This is a vacuum-formed plastic product that comes from Woodland Scenics, and you can buy it right off the shelf just like this. It's pre-painted, it's got ground foam already attached to it, and we've got this nice open space right in the middle of the railroad, so I think we're going to glue it down somewhere right about there. To affix the hill to the layout, I'm going to use our good old tube of caulk again, just like we've used to glue down just about everything else on this railroad. So with the hill upside down, starting in one corner, just apply a nice bead of caulk all the way around. Don't want to get too close to the edge because we don't want it to ooze out onto our finished scenery. This is about as easy as model railroading gets right here. All right, with our caulk in place, just carefully take the hill and flip it over. You don't want to get caulk all over the rest of your grass mat, so you only get one shot at this. It looks like we're about lined up where we need to be, and I'll press it in place. We're going to let our caulk on our hill set up. If you have trouble with the hill not staying down, you might want to put a book on it, and we may come back and do that later. I see I got a little lip here. Our next step is to start installing trees on the railroad. Now there are a number of different manufacturers for trees, and basically you can get just about any type of tree you want. For our project, we're going to use some deciduous trees and a few pine trees. And to put the trees into the layout, you're going to need something to poke holes with. In this particular case, I'm using a metal awl, but a bamboo skewer will work just fine. And we'll need some good old white glue to glue them to the layout. The trees we're using for our project come in an assortment of sizes, from tall to small. And so when I put trees together, I usually like to clump them in groups of an assortment of shapes. So we're going to start with the big tree, and I'm actually going to plant it right here. Because we built our layout with a foam base, I can simply take the awl, pick the spot I want to put the tree, poke a hole through it, and now I want to dip the tip of the tree in some white glue, which I have the lid of another jar sitting here, and I'm just going to put a little white glue in it. We dip the end of the tree into the glue, get a nice little blob on there, pull the awl out so we know where our hole was, and press the tree in. There we go, our first tree is planted. So next to that one, let's take a medium-sized tree, put it over here, press the awl in again, dip the tip of the tree's trunk into the glue, pull the awl out, and insert the tree. Things always look nice if you have them in groups of 3s, 5s, odd numbers, things like that. So let's take one of these smaller trees, and we'll put this guy right in front. And in he goes. It's as easy as that. Now, you can also poke holes into the vinyl hill that we put in, and we're going to use some of these smaller trees for that. So let me show you how that works. Got this nice little flat spot on top of the hill here. Take our awl, and I just want to put a little hole into the vinyl. I don't want to push too hard. You can see it's going to bow a little bit. I've got my hole. Dip the trunk of the tree in some white glue. And pop it in place. There we go. That looks better already. I'm going to keep going putting trees around the railroad, and then we'll come back and add some other details. Well, that's looking better already. We've got all of our pine trees in. Now we're going to plant a few of the deciduous trees. I thought our house scene here would look really nice with a big tree in the front yard, something like that. You plant them the same way. Make a hole in the ground, dip the trunk of the tree into some white glue, just slip it into the hole, and there's our first tree. I'm going to plant some more of these around other buildings in the layout because I think they'll look nice next to them. This looks like a good spot. And in it goes. Don't worry about this white glue around the base because that will dry clear and you'll never see it. Okay, the trees really have added a lot to our model railroad. It brings it to life. In addition to trees, we're going to put down some bushes. Now this stuff is called clump foliage. This is made by Woodland Scenics. Essentially, it's the same ground foam that we have down on our base, but it's all glued together in a nice big clump, and it represents bushes very nicely. One thing you can do with this, it's a great little trick actually. If you see this spot over here where our hill doesn't actually touch the railroad too well because it doesn't glue down all the way, we can hide all of that just by gluing some bushes along that edge, and I think that's what we're going to do. Just like the trees, you can glue this stuff down with white glue. So we take one of our bushes, dip it into our white glue, and then right where this edge is here, we can place it right on top. We don't want to line the whole thing, but at least hide some of these hillside gaps. Guy goes in there. Nice thing about this stuff is you can just pull it apart very easily to make smaller bushes. You can even add more detail to the top of your hill by gluing some of the clump foliage up there. Okay, the bushes are in place, so our layout is moving along. Next detail we're going to add are some telephone poles. These guys come in a package, they're plastic, and we're going to glue them along our roadway. Now if you take a look at this one, you can see that they have these plastic bases, which are nice if you want to set them on your carpet, but they don't look very good when you have them on your layout. So we're going to use a pair of cutters here. So we come in, clip the base. Now telephone poles are usually evenly spaced, so I have my pencil left over from one of our previous projects. I'm just going to set it in between as a marker and put another pole, get a little more white glue on the tip. There we go, let's keep going. With the pencil, next hole, clip off the base, and the white glue. Oh man, in our helicopter comes. Our railroad is ready to go. I'm going to take the trains out of this nice plastic storage box I keep them in so that they don't get damaged. We'll set up the railroad and we'll get ready to run. And if you want extra play value for you and your family, you can add things like wooden spools or wooden blocks to have cargo to put in your freight cars. And our layout is complete. Now there's a lot more you can add to your family's layout, including structures, scenery, and trains. You can learn more about being a model railroader by visiting mrvideoplus.com or reading the pages of Model Railroader magazine. Well, it looks like our train is ready to leave the station, so here we go. I hope you've enjoyed this video series.